Mosaic Hollywood, how you doing tonight? Good? All right. If you're a guest and you're wondering what's going on, why these people going so crazy and screaming so much and singing so loud and just doing the things that they do, we're wondering kind of the same thing too. Why everyone is so crazy. But there's something. There's actually something. We actually believe that the presence of God is right here. And it doesn't matter. And this I already started with the end of my message. It doesn't matter how far you run from Him. It doesn't matter how fast you're trying to run from Him. It doesn't matter if you're standing right here and you're like, oh, I got this together. It doesn't matter if you're struggling in your faith, if you don't believe in Him. He's here waiting for you. He's here ready to hear your voice, calling Him, saying, I need you and I want you. That's great. You guys can say hi to someone. No, before you do that, my name is Carlos Pimentel Garcia. Hi, Aaron. Hi, David. Okay. I look after. We love every campus. Every campus is incredible. Hollywood, you guys are the best campus. But I look after the Venice campus. And I'm also part of Mosaic MSC, our music. You guys probably know, you probably have heard Mariah, right? Mariah sings Tremble and How Beautiful, Eyes on You. Have you guys heard about More Than Everything? What else do I sing, Andres? Huh? King of All. Speak to Us. Have you guys heard Speak to Us? No one knows those songs. Before you sit down, I want to honor our campus pastor, Pastor Joe, for being an incredible leader, an incredible friend to me. Joe and Beck, I love you guys for real. I love you guys so much, and thank you for everything that you guys do for everyone in this room. And I also want to thank our lead pastor, Pastor Erwin McManus, for creating a space like this. Where we can come together and have an encounter with the creator of the universe. Have a seat, but before you do that, say hi to someone. Sit down. Sorry. Say hi to someone. It'll be fine, hopefully. All right. You guys doing good? This is one of one of my favorite things that I get to do. I never had done this before, but I have done a couple times, but it's not my favorite thing to do. That's not true. I love my kids, and I have a photo of my family I want to show you guys. My wife and I, Miosoti, who sit in the front, we have been married for 11 years. Together for 17, 16 years. And we have two beautiful kids, Brooklyn with the American flag, and then Leon. A lot of people ask us why they have blonde hair. We're still trying to figure out that one, but I promise you that there are kids. But I love my kids. I love them. They're the best thing in my life. Also the worst thing in my life. I love them so much. They're not kind at all. It's a real thing. If you're a dad in this room, there's probably not a single dad other than me and Joe, and David Arcos and Chris, and who else? That's it. We have to. Oh, Felix. Okay. Rafa, I know every single dad in the room. It's a real thing. Yes. Listen, I love my kids, but I also love my Jeep. And sometimes I feel like I have to pick between the two of them. And it's super hard. It is hard. Brooklyn, let me start with Leon. Leon, he's so beautiful. You see how cute he is? right? He's so defiant. He like every time that I say no to him, he just goes crazy. He tells me every time that I'm feeding him, he goes like, no, Dada. And I'm like, Leon, don't do that. And he goes, no, Dada. And every time that I say no, he goes even more crazy, keeps saying no, no, no to me. And he's a lot like me. He has a temper. He gets upset, and it's not fun. And then Brooklyn on the other side. Brooklyn is so cute too. I love him so much. He's so much like my wife. He's like super sweet, super smart, also really emotional. And sometimes I don't know how to deal well with emotional people. It's like a real thing. My wife is teaching me a lot how to do that. But he's incredible. He's different. The other day we took him swimming, his first swimming lesson, and he cried for 45 minutes straight. And after he came out, he comes crying. He's like, Dada. I get upset. I'm saying it, I already feel upset. He's like, Dada, how did I do? It's like, what do you want me to tell you? That was so bad. You have to learn. You have to learn how to do that. He wants affirmation, and a lot of times I don't know how to do that. The other day, this is the last story. I love my kids. I told you I love them. Best part of my life. Best part of my life, I promise you. The other day, I don't even know why this happened, but we're getting off the cart, and we're walking to our apartment, and he got upset at me because something that I did, and he follows me and come and say, Dada. I say, what happened, B? That's how we call him, B. What happened, B? He say, I don't love you anymore. A 5-year-old is telling me that he don't love me anymore. And I'm like, well, it's okay, because I said, you're going to have me for the rest of your life. This is all, we are all you have. But when he told me I don't love you anymore, it makes me think that there a lot of times, I find myself asking myself, I don't know if I want to do this. This is a lot. And I know that you guys cannot relate. But having 2 kids is a lot. And a lot of times I find my place asking myself, do I really want to do this? Am I in the right place? Have you ever asked yourself, what am I doing here? How did I get here? Or maybe you say, I'm done. I'm done with this relationship. I'm done with this friend. I'm done with my work. They're too mean. They're too hard. I don't like them. I'm bouncing. I'm done with this thing. Have you ever said that before? Yeah? Okay. Thank you. Thank you. I want to share a passage of the scriptures that I really, really love. And it's this story. It's this conversation that happens between God and Elijah. So if you have your Bible, that you probably don't have it, I encourage you to grab a Bible, to bring a Bible to church. It's a great thing. It's going to help you a lot, having a Bible. We're going to have the Bible on the big screen. What? I'm sorry, guys. This is when it gets real, all right? 1 Kings chapter 19, verse 9 to 15. And he says, there he went into a cave and spent the night. And the word of the Lord came to him, what are you doing here, Elijah? He replied, I have been very zealous for the Lord God Almighty. The Israelites have rejected your covenant, tore down your altars, and put your prophets to death with the sword. I am the only one left, and now they're trying to kill me too. The Lord said, go out and stand on the mountain in the presence of the Lord, for the Lord is about to pass by. Then a great and a powerful wind tore down the mountains apart and shattered the rocks before the Lord. But the Lord was not in the wind. After the wind, there was an earthquake, like the one we had 2 days ago. But the Lord was not in the earthquake. He was definitely not in that earthquake. After the earthquake came a fire, but the Lord was not in the fire. And after the fire came a gentle whisper. When Elijah heard it, he pulled his cloak over his face and went out and stood at the at the mouth of the cave. Then a voice said to him, "What are you doing here, Elijah?" Verse 15. The Lord said to him, "Go back the way you came and go to the desert of Damascus." I love this story. And to give you a little bit of background, Elijah, you should go home and read the story of Elijah. He has this incredible relationship with God. He prayed for fire, and fire came down from heaven. He prayed for rain, and rain came down from heaven. He prayed for the rain to stop, and the rain stopped. He had such an intimacy. He has such a relationship with God that everything, I don't know if everything, but a lot of the things that he asked for, they happen. There's so many moments in the life of Elijah where he put himself in an uncomfortable situation, and he put God in the line to try to show people who was the real God. Elijah, he was a powerful man. He was a really strong man. He was bold. But then in a moment, something changed. He got a letter from this queen called Jezebel. And Jezebel, not a letter, someone told him, go tell, I don't know if there were letters actually at this time. Probably not. Paper. He told someone, I want you to let Elijah know that I don't gonna rest until he dies. And somehow, the same guy who moments before this, he killed 450 prophets from another god. This same guy, now he's standing here, and he said that he ran away because he was afraid. And he felt that he needed to run for his life. Which, I get it, a little bit. Because I am married to a Puerto Rican. And, hold on. It is crazy to me that Elijah was running from Jezebel. He did so many great things, and then he's afraid of this woman. He was not afraid of the fire. He was not afraid of the rain. He was not afraid of 450 other prophets. He was afraid of a woman. When my wife is angry, you don't want to be around, okay? When my wife is mad at me, I do have to be careful. I do have to run away, okay? Elijah, he flees and leaves his servant. This is what the Bible says a couple of verses before. He leaves his servant. He goes in the wilderness by himself, and then he starts praying to God. And he starts saying, God, can you please take my life? The same guy that saw fire coming from heaven, rain, who stopped the rain, who asked for so many incredible things, now he finds himself asking God to take away his life. Have you ever been in a place where you're not supposed to be? Oh, uh-oh. Have you ever been in a place where you knew this is not the right place for me? Like where you're surrounded by the wrong group of people. Like moments where we go to the wrong place, to the wrong club, or to the wrong, I didn't do that, but to the wrong place. Or you had you were in conversations that you were not supposed to be. I heard that way too many times growing up. My mom would tell me all the time, and my dad, hi mom and dad, they would tell me all the time, Carlos, what are you doing? You're gonna die. They would my dad. And I try not to do the same thing with my kids because I feel that's not good. I turn out okay. I'm fine now. But my dad, I was so many times I was in places where I was not supposed to be, and my dad would tell me, Carlos, you're gonna die. Why are you doing that? Why are you climbing that tree? Why you keep running away? Why are you running in the middle of the streets? There are cars. My mom, she was afraid that something bad was gonna happen to me. Because so many times I was in the wrong place. And this is where we pick up. This is where this conversation between God and Elijah starts. The first question that God asked Elijah in verse 9. He said, "What are you doing here, Elijah? What are you doing in this place?" Also, there's the title for this message. I should have said that before. The title for this message is "Stop Running Away." Okay. Stop running away, okay? The question that God asked Elijah, I honestly don't think it's a question. It's more like it's a statement. He's not saying, obviously, God knows where he is. Elijah's in a cave hiding. But God's still asking the question. It's the same thing that happens with Adam and Eve. He asked them, "Where are you?" He knew where they were. He knew where to find them. It's the same thing that he asked Moses. And Pastor Aaron talked about this last week. What do you have in your hand? It is not a question. He's actually saying, like, look, I want you to see something that you haven't been able to see. Elijah was not running for his life. Elijah was running from his fears. He was afraid that something was going to happen to him, and it crippled him. It made him stop. It took away the life out of him. Elijah, even when he started running, he said that he asked God to take away his life. He was definitely not running because he definitely was not running for his life. He was running because he was afraid. What are you running from? What are the things in your life that you're running from, that you're afraid of stepping in? And I wrote a couple of things, and if you're any of these cases, they're all real cases, but I cannot say the names. Because I'm a pastor and I work for a lot of people, and a lot of them are sitting here in the front. What are you running from? Are you running from commitments? Oh. And I'm not talking just about church, okay? I'm talking about your life. Are you running? Are you trying to hide from commitments? The thing that happens a lot of times is that we run from commitments, and then we find ourselves in the wrong relationship, and then we ask ourselves, what am I doing here? Why? How did I get here? Well, first place, your commitment they're not in the right place yet. Have you run away from honesty? Have you ever run away from being real with your friends? Yes, I've been talking a lot about this with my leaders, okay? You cannot run away from having hard conversations with your friends. If that's the things that you do in your life, you're gonna end up in the wrong place, and you're gonna end up having issues with trust. And then you're gonna find yourself struggling with trust, and you're gonna be like, how did I get here? It's like, well, let's go back to the first step. I am not opening my life to people. You can clap. I think this is a good one. Are you running away from accountability? And then you find yourself fighting, and you find yourself doing the same mistakes over and over and over again. And you get to this point, you're like, how did I get here? Why keep struggling with the same things over and over and over again? In the first place, when in the same place, you didn't create a safe space for you to be accountable with people, with your friends, with your leaders. The question about what are you running from is not to make you feel ashamed or to make you feel guilt. The reason why God asks you this question is because He knows that you can be in a better place. He knows that there is so much more for you, that if you choose to stay inside the cave, you will never gonna be able to see the light. That if you keep hiding, you will never gonna see the things that He wants to do in your life. And then verse 11. You guys good? It's hot in here. Right? Call it. Someone say call it. What do you say? It's okay. It doesn't matter. We're on verse 11. No, you matter, and what you said is important. Let's keep going. Verse 11. Then the Lord said, go out and stand on the mountain in the presence of the Lord, for the Lord is about to pass by. Go out and stand on the mountain where the presence of the Lord is. To stand and to come out and to get out of the cave, it takes something. You need to do something. This is what happens a lot of times when we find ourselves struggling with things and we want to get to a different place. We need people in our life that can help you to get from one place to another place, right? God told Elijah, you can't stay here, you have to come out. That is the first step. If you want to stop running, you have to come out from wherever and from whatever thing you're running or hiding from. You have to come out. And then you have to stand in your ground. You have to stand firm. But to stand, you have to learn how to wait. If you know me, that most of you don't know me, I do have a hard time waiting for anything. I move a lot. I don't know. I didn't do that on purpose. Like, it's a real thing. I move. It's like I was getting ready for this message and I'm just running in the back, just doing laps. Because I'm like, I don't know if I can stand still. It's hard for me. But you have to learn how to wait. Like traffic, right? You have to learn how to wait in traffic. If you love Din Tai Fung, anyone here love Din Tai Fung? Best soup dumplings in LA. And also, yeah, they're incredible. But you have to wait 2 hours to get in. It's a real thing, unless you go before 4, which is when we usually go because we have kids and they have to go to bed early. Go early and you don't gonna need to wait that much. My buddy Tim, where are you? Oh, over there. Green, no, what? Orange hat? Tim went fishing this week or last week. He was fishing for 7 days and every day for 10 hours, right? I don't know if I can do that. I don't know if you. I don't know if I can wait. I don't know if I have the patience to wait that long. I got in so much trouble growing up for this. My mom had this thing that she would tell anyone in my family whenever I was too impatient and too hyperactive. She would tell me, go find a tente. A tente. Tente doesn't mean absolutely anything in Spanish, okay? My mom came up with that word, tente. She would come to me and say, Carlos, can you go to your grandma and ask for a tente? So I would go to my grandma and I say, hey, grandma, can I have a tente? And she'll say, yeah, kid, I got it. Can you sit down here real quick and I'm going to go grab a tente? It's like, yeah, grandma. And I would start to move. It's like, oh, grandma, where's the tente? Where's the tente? It's a real thing. It was a real struggle to me. It is a real struggle still. It's a real struggle to me. To stand is the opposite of running away. You have to stand. You have to be planted in His presence, deeply rooted, even when it's hard. And this is where we're going to get into something. Even when it makes us tremble, even when it makes you feel uncomfortable, even when you feel like it's too hard, I cannot do that. That is literally the moment where you have to stop and you have to plan yourself and say, I'm gonna stand, this is my ground. I don't gonna move, I'm gonna stay here. To stand is an act of bravery. To wait in His presence is violent. To stand in His presence is powerful, it's brutal. But you know what we do far too often? We stand until it gets too hot. Like some of you, this room might be too hot and you'll be like, I'm done with church. I'm not kidding, it is true. Some people might do that and we love you and we hope that you came back. We're working with the AC. We have been working with the AC for a long time, still, it's the same. I have a friend, everyone is looking up. I have a friend that came here 2 weeks ago and we immediately connected and we started having conversations and he told me that, hey, I've been looking for a home church for a long time. I haven't been able to find it in 5 years. And this is the first time that someone comes and say hi to me. I'm like, that's incredible. Also, that's a little strange that this is the first time that someone say hi to you. When you go to a restaurant, everyone say hi to you. When you go to churches, everyone say hi to you. It's like a thing. Like we're kind, we're nice to people. But then 2 weeks later, my friend comes back, and after the second song, he sent me a text, and he said, I'm done. Thank you so much for being so nice to us. I'm going to continue my journey to find a home, to find a house. He used Christian language, of course. That's not standing. That is the opposite of standing, and that's what we do this way too often. We are faithful until we receive an offense. We are generous. You can clap. We are generous as long as we agree with everything that we're doing. We commit to relationship as long as it doesn't interfere with our lives. We're in as long as it's not too hard. Listen to this. I think this is so awesome. I think that Elijah, he wouldn't have been able to hear the whisper if he first didn't withstand the earthquake, the fire, and the wind. Listen, then the Lord told him, go out and stand on the mountain in the presence of the Lord, for the Lord is about to pass by. Then a great and a powerful wind tore the mountains apart and shattered the rocks before the Lord. Then after that, but the Lord was not in the wind, and after the wind there was an earthquake. But the Lord was not in the earthquake, and after the earthquake came the fire, but the Lord was not in the fire. And then came the whisper. We want the whisper. We want the intimacy that happens when you're close and when you're connected. But you know what we don't want? We don't want the fire. We don't want the earthquake. As soon as we feel the ground shaking or moving, we're like, we gotta run. That's not what I signed for. And this is, stop here real quick. This is a real story. How many of you guys felt the earthquake 2 days ago? Every single person in this room. I was taking a shower, getting ready for this. I was taking a shower, and I was getting ready for this message, and I'm going over the talk in my brain, and I felt like an earthquake in my brain. And I'm like, this is so weird. Why is everything moving? And I get off the shower. I'm just like, oh, this is definitely an earthquake. I got off the shower, go in the room, pull my pants. I start screaming, I'm salty. She's not responding. I go, Brooklyn. Leon. They left me. I'm not joking. My wife and my kids, they left me in the middle of the earthquake. That's not nice. That's definitely not nice. We want the whisper, but we don't want the earthquake. And to be honest, and I'm being honest since the first moment that I started speaking tonight. I'm always honest. It's not a thing. Always honest. Speaking in front of you it is like an earthquake to me. This is not like, oh, let's speak. Probably if I was doing this in Spanish, I probably would be like crushing it. I'm like, oh yeah, I did that in Spanish, my native language. I'm so good in Spanish. Like, oh yeah. This is not the thing that is easy for me. But still, there's something that I know about my life and about my wife, about our relationship. We don't run away when things are hard. We actually have learned to push through, to go harder in the moments where we feel that things are too hard. We made a commitment to each other and to our family, to our kids, that we're gonna be the type of people that we don't shrink back, we don't give up, we keep fighting, we build, we trust, we fight to create a better world. We don't go and run when things are too hard. We don't run when there's an earthquake. We don't run when there's a fire. We don't run when there's a wind. And the last thing that God told Elijah in verse 15, he said that the Lord said to him, go back the way you came and go to the desert of Damascus. Go back the way you came. That makes no sense. He was running for his life, right? He knew that going back, it might cost him his life. He's like, am I supposed to go back to Jezebel? And God told him, yep. That's what I want you to do. I want you to face your fears. I want you to go back to where we started, the moment where you decided to go in a different direction. I want you to go back to that moment, and I want you to keep having the conversation that we left. We need to go back to that moment. You have to realize that the cave is too small for you. You have to realize that running from God, hiding from Him, it doesn't gonna take you anywhere. You have to realize that we humans, we are not designed to live in the dark. We're not designed for darkness. This is what happened. I learned about this when I was getting ready for this message. When you spend too much time in the dark, humans lose their capacity to understand time. When we spend too much time in the dark, hiding in the darkness, we lose the sense of depth. We have a hard time finding where we at. And I love that the invitation that God told Elijah, He said, I want you to go back. I want you to face something. And you might think that you're going to the past. You might think that you're going to a place that is not where you want to be. But what He actually is inviting you to do is to go deeper. Your perception of depth is wrong. When you're too far from Him, when you're hiding from Him, your perception of time, of how long have you been far from Him, it's off. And when you hear His voice, when you go through the struggle, when you go through the earthquake and the fire and the wind, and you finally get to that place when you can hear His whisper, you realize that He's actually asking you and inviting you to walk with Him to the future. He's not trying to leave you in the past. He's trying to invite you into something more beautiful, something more meaningful. But you gotta go and face your challenge. You gotta go and face whatever you're running from. It's so annoying, huh? Elijah was afraid, and God sent him back. Let's just work with that fear. I wouldn't be here standing today if it wasn't for every hard moment, every hard decision, every mountain, every valley, every hard thing that I have to go through, that me and my wife as a family, we decided to lean in instead of running away. I wouldn't be in my relationship with my wife, we wouldn't be where we're today if it wasn't for her commitment to me. 10 years ago, we have been married for 11 years. 11 years ago, right before we got married, we had to have this hard conversation where I opened my heart and I told my wife that I was hiding things, that I was running away from things, that I was struggling with addictions. And I had to sit down with her in a car and tell her everything stupid, all the hard and awful things that were in my heart. And we were dating at the moment, and she had the opportunity to say, I don't gonna deal with this thing with this guy. But you know what she did? She grabbed my hand and she said, let's do this together. Let's get to the other side together. And now after 11 years and kids, I see that her commitment to me, her not running away, has been the thing that have moved our family to the place that we're today. Stop running away. Whatever you're running from, you know what are the things that you're fighting, the things that you're struggling with. You have to stop running away. You got to come out of the cave. You got to let the light of Jesus invade your life and move you to a different place. You got to stop playing the game. The game doesn't take you anywhere, okay? You have to lean in and especially get this, guys, like stay in it even when it's hard. Hard is not bad. Hard is good. It is good. It's the thing that's going to push you to the other side. And by the way, tonight, if you're here and you feel like you're running from something, you're running from God, you're running from the God who created you, He's right here. He's already waiting for you. There's not a whole lot that you have to do. This whole thing that we're talking about of going through the fire and the hard things, it all starts with one step. It all starts with one declaration. You saying, I want to stop running and I need you in my life. So with every eyes closed and every head bowed, if you're here in this room and you feel like you're out of place, you feel like you've been running for way too long, if you feel like you're hiding, I just want to invite you to take a step today that it will change your life forever. I want to invite you to stop running from Him and run towards Him. If you're in this room and you know, and it makes sense to you for the first time that Jesus is the Lord, that He's fighting for you, that He loves you, that He's calling you out from the cave or from the place that you're hiding. If you're in this room and you know that you want to give your life to Jesus tonight, I want to invite you to make this prayer, to say these simple words. Jesus, I need you. Jesus, I give you my life. Just simple words. That's it. Jesus, I need you, and I give you my life. And with every head bowed, no one is looking. If you made that prayer, can you raise your hand? We want to pray for you. If you're in this room and today you made that prayer for the first time and you say, Jesus, I want to invite into my life, keep your hand up. We want to see you. Beautiful. And I want to pray for you. Jesus, thank you so much for tonight. God, I pray for every person, every man, every woman who have chosen to give their life to you tonight. God, I pray that you would embrace them, that you will let them know how much you love them, how much you care about them, how much you're fighting for them, God. God, and that tonight they will crash into your love, that they will crash into your arms and know how much you love them. Jesus, we're so grateful for this space. Jesus, thank you for your sacrifice on the cross, for dying for us, for not taking the easy way, for showing us the way, for showing us the hard way to give our life for others so that we can find life in you. We love you, Jesus, and in your name we pray. Amen. Amen. Can you guys give it up for every person that make a decision? Come on.